ओम वक्रतुंड महाकाय सूर्यकोटिसमप्रभ निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा। ओम श्री महागणपतये नमः। ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरि ओम। सदाशिवसमारंभां शंकराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। अस्मद्गुरुभ्यो नमः। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं। शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ओम श्री मेधा दक्षिणामूर्ति स्वामिने नमः। ओम सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमा
भीतमस्तु
तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांति। हरि ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरि ओम। ओम भद्रं कर्णेभिः शृणुयाम देवाः भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैः स्तुष्ट्वागुंसस्तनूभिः यशेम देवहितं यदायुः। स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवाः स्वस्ति न पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति नस्तार्क्ष्यो अरिष्ठनेमिः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्दधातु। ओम शांति शांति शांति। हरि ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरि ओम। नमस्ते once again everyone.
नमस्ते गुरुजी, प्रणाम।
नमस्ते प्रणाम।
नमस्ते गुरु।
नमस्ते
नमस्ते
नमस्ते नमस्ते। So sixth mantra, we will read the mantra and also the last portion of the bhashyam which we are seeing in the last class. Okay, then we will continue. Yattat ade adreshyam
यत्तद्रेष्यम्
agrahyam
अग्राह्यम्
agotram
अगोत्रम्
avarnam
अवर्णम्
achakshusrotram
अचक्षुश्रोत्रम्
tadapanipādam
तदपादम्
nityam vibhum sarvagatam
सर्वगतम्
susukshmam tad avyayam
तदव्ययम्
yad bhutayonim
भूतयोनिम्
paripashyanti dhiraah.
परिपश्यन्ति धीराः।
Now the bhashyam. Yad evam lakshanam
लक्षणम्
bhutayonim bhutanam karanam prithvi iva sthavara jangamanam paripashyanti sarvatah
परिपश्यन्ति सर्वतः
atma bhutam sarvasya
भूतं सर्वस्य
aksharam pashyanti
पश्यन्ति
धीराः धीमन्तः विवेकिनः
विवेकिनः
ईदृशम् अक्षरम्
ईदृशम् अक्षरम्
यया विद्यया
यया विद्यया
अधिगम्यते
अधिगम्यते
सा परा विद्या इति
परा इति
समुदायार्थः.
समुदायार्थः.
Very good. Thank you. So we are seeing the bhashyam of this mantra number 6 of the first khanda of the first mundaka. And in this mantra, the Upanishad defines Aksharam Brahma and points out that the wise people know this Brahman, and that Vidya by which Aksharam Brahma is known is called Paravidya. So the final aim of this mantra is definition of Paravidya. And there various lakshanams or features of Brahman were explained. And in the last class, we were discussing the bhashyam of the last quarter of the mantra, which is Yad Bhutayonim Paripashyanti Dhiraha. So that Aksharam Brahman, described by the various adjectives, is Bhutayonim, which Bhashyakara explained as Bhutanam Karanam, the cause, the material cause, Upadana Karanam, of both living beings and non-living beings. So this Aksharam Brahma is the raw material out of which the whole world emerges out or evolves. So it is not only the intelligent cause of the universe, as we will see it later. It happens to be the material cause also. So up to this is the definition of Aksharam Brahma. And now the Upanishad says, only very rare people know this Akshara, this imperishable Brahman. Paripashyanti. Bhashyakara says, Sarvataha Atma Bhutam Sarvasya Aksharam Pashyanti Dhiraha Dhimantaha Vivekinaha. Bhashyakara explained Dhiraha as Dhimantaha. Dhimantaha basically means those who have got Dhi. Dhi means Buddhi. That means what? So all of us have got Buddhi, isn't it? Can we say, no, I don't have Buddhi? Everybody has got Buddhi. Even though all of us have it, only very rarely people use it. And therefore, we have to add, Dhimanta means those having functioning Buddhi. So, those who have functioning Buddhi, he explains as Vivekinaha. Those people who are discriminative people. Those who have got Sukshma Buddhi, very subtle intellect. Since this Aksharam has been explained as Susukshmam earlier, the intellect also has got to be Sukshmam. And by using the word Vivekinaha, the Acharya or the Upanishad is reminding us of the what? Sadhana Chatushtaya Sampatti of Tattva Bodha, which we learned once upon a time. Now don't ask me what is Sadhana Chatushtaya Sampatti. If you cannot recall Viveka, Vairagyam, Samadhi, Shakka, Sampatti, Mumukshutvam, then I'm afraid you will have to start all over again. So in short, Vivekinaha Pashyanti means Sadhana Chatushtaya Sampanna Adhikarinaha Pashyanti. The Upanishad, of course, doesn't say how they become adhikaris or vivekina. That also we should supply. Well, whenever we are seeing a particular word, all the ideas which we have already seen in connection with that particular word, it should come into our mind. Then only this knowledge will become reinforced. So, who are the adhikaris? Karma yogena, upasana yogena, cha ye adhikarinah bhavanti, te pashyanti. Those who have actually become adhikaris, who have got all this viveka, vairagya, etc. through karma yoga, through upasana yoga, those who have become the adhikaris, the people who are eligible for getting this knowledge, te pashyanti or paripashyanti. What do they see? Paripashyanti means, Bhashyakara says, sarvatah pashyanti. Sarvatah means everywhere. They see Aksharam Brahma everywhere. They see Aksharam Brahma in everything. That is why, in Prahlada Charitram, when Prahlada is asked, show me that Narayana whom you are talking about, where is he? In Tamil he says, Tunilum Iruppar, Turumbilum Iruppar. He is in this pillar, and he is also in the dust particle. Everywhere he is there, that Narayana is there everywhere. So this Aksharam Brahma is everywhere. And that is why Paripashyanti means Sarvatah Pashyanti. And Bhashyakara adds one more qualification. Everywhere means what? Sarvasya Atma Bhutam. Atma Bhutam means what? As the very essence, as the very content. Sarvasya Atma Bhutam means as the very content or essence of everything and being. Sarvasya means of everything and being. Atma Bhutam means inner essence, the content. Just as we see gold in and through all the ornaments, we see wood in and through all furniture. We see water in and through all the water bodies like lake, ocean, tank, etc. Just as a person sees the karanam, the cause, in and through all the products, the karyams, the effects, the wise people see the mula karanam, the aksharam, in and through the entire karya prapancha. Of course, Bhashyakara doesn't elaborate further. But even though he doesn't elaborate here, he has given the answer in Dakshinamurti Stotra. Yasyaiva spuranam sadatmakam asatkalpartakam bhasate sakshat tattvamasiti vedavachasa yo bodhayatyasritam. Very beautiful line. That is why, whenever we learn all these things, if we learn along with the meanings, whenever we chant these stotrams, those words, they come alive. We can actually meditate on these lines rather. It's all nididhyasana material. So how do we experience karanam in and through karyam? He says the existence experienced in the karyam does not belong to the karyam. It belongs to the karanam only. So when you say a pot is, the easiness of the pot does not belong to the pot, it belongs to the clay. And therefore, you always experience the cause in the form of the very existence in and through the product. And therefore, when you say the wall is, the easiness is what? That easiness denotes a feature of Aksharam Brahma. Table is, chair is, when we say that is, the existence is Aksharam Brahma. So they see Brahman or Atma as the very Adhishtanam, the very essence of everything. They have progressed from Ekarupa Ishvara stage to Aneka Rupa Ishvara vision, and finally they have reached the stage of appreciating Arupa Ishvara as the Adhishtanam, the essence of everything. And that is why when a person has wisdom, your wisdom not in the colloquial sense, wisdom in the sense of Vedanta wisdom, there is no restriction in appreciating Brahman. Suppose you are committed to some particular form of Lord, Ayyappa, Guruvayurappan, Vishnu, Shiva, etc. Then you have to go to that particular temple, or you have to visualize that particular form in your mind through dhyana slokas, Shodashopachara, puja, etc. Then only you are in touch with Ishvara. But a jnani, a wise person, there is no such restriction. In and through everything that he experiences, everything that he sees all around, both sentient and insentient objects, he sees only Aksharam Brahma, he sees only Ishvara. As Pujya Swamiji used to say, the statement that there is one God is only partly true. The correct statement is there is only God, nothing else is there. Whatever else is there is only name and form. The whole Jagat is only Nama Rupa Jagat. That we have to understand. Because the whole Vedanta is about what? The whole Vedanta is about understanding who am I, who is God, and what is this world. That's all. And in the final analysis, Vedanta established that everything is only one thing, which is Aksharam Brahman, imperishable reality, eternal reality. If you understand that, if you appreciate that, if you internalize that knowledge, you are a jnani. Then automatically you will be abiding in that knowledge in your life, in your day-to-day transactions. You will not want to go to a temple to see Ishvara. But that does not mean you should not go to a temple. I mean, don't mistake me. Because temple also is Ishvara, that is also part of this Jagat only. But sitting wherever you are, you can see Ishvara, you can experience Ishvara as the Brahman, the very Adhishtanam of everything. And now in the last sentence, Bhashyakara is giving the meaning, the essence of this entire mantra. The Samudaya Artha. Samudaya Artha means the essence. Idrisham Aksharam Yaya Vidyaya Adhigamyate Sa Para Vidya iti Samudayartha. As I said, Samudayartha means essence or essential meaning of this entire sloka. The bottom line, the final message of this mantra, the purport of this entire sloka. Samudaya means whole. So the whole sloka has got this meaning, this artha. That's the final message. Idrisham Aksharam. Aksharam, the imperishable Brahman. Idrisham means of such nature. Of such nature defined by the 12 adjectives. So the Brahman of such nature, Yaya Vidyaya, by which knowledge, Adhigamyate is known and attained, both. The Adhigamyate has got both meanings, known and attained. Both meanings are there. We can take both meanings. Sa, that is Paravidya, that is the higher knowledge. Iti, this is Samudayartaha, the purport of the entire sloka or the essence of the entire sloka. And therefore, Paravidya, which is spiritual knowledge, is that knowledge, that higher knowledge by which a person discerns the highest reality in and through the entire creation. So what is Paravidya is clarified in this mantra. Paravidya is that by which Brahman of the nature described in this mantra is Adhigamyate, understood and attained. If you remember, in the Sangati, that is what Bhashyakara said. Savisheshena aksharena param vidyam vishinashti. There itself, when introducing itself, he says that this mantra is specifying or defining what is Paravidya. How does it specify? By describing its subject matter, which is Akshara, Aksharena. So by describing Akshara, which is a unique subject matter, Paravidya is specified. So here Paravidya is defined as that Vidya by which Idrisham Aksharam Adhigamyate, the imperishable reality of this nature is attained or understood. So the Vidya which makes you understand that this Brahman which has been described as Adreshyam, Agrahyam, Agotram, Achakshushrotram, etc. Such Brahman is understood by which Vidya is called Paravidya. When we hear these descriptions, Adreshyam, Agrahyam, etc., Aksharam Brahman cannot be seen, cannot be grasped, does not have Gotra, Agotram, Avarnam, etc. We may be led to think that Aksharam Brahman cannot be understood at all. Because our orientation is we can understand, appreciate what we can see, what we can experience. So, it's okay that the Upanishad says you experience Aksharam Brahman through everything in the world. But to come to that level is not that easy. So in the interim stage, we may think that, oh, this Aksharam Brahman business is very, very difficult. I can't understand it. But that is not the case. And in order to dispel such doubts, it was said it is Nityam, it is Vibhum, it is there in the form of everything, it is the Karanam of everything. So it is not something Shunya. Because there is a philosophy, it's Buddhist philosophy. They call it Shunyavada. They go through this Vedanta, and when they say Adreshyam, Agrayam and all, they say that means zero. Aksharam Brahman, there is nothing called Aksharam Brahman, it is Shunyam. But this mantra, this Upanishad, of course, all Upanishads, what they establish is Aksharam Brahman is very much there as the Adhishtanam of everything. And that Brahman is understood by whatever Vidya, that Vidya is called Paravidya. When Kaivalya Upanishad says, Sarva bhutastam atmanam sarva bhutani chatmani sampashyan brahma paramam yati nanyena hetuna. Whatever knowledge gives you this vision of the above mentioned aksharam is called paravidya. And this pure existence is not visible to the eyes because the eyes can see only nama rupa. Therefore, the existence has to be discerned through the third eye of wisdom, the third eye of understanding. I should be able to cognitively, with discriminative intellect, separate the isness from the objects and see every object as two things. One, the jada padartha, the object, which is unreal, and the isness as the very adhishtanam, which is the only reality. This knowledge is gained by the vision called paravidya. In fact, one of the commentators of the Bhashyam, because I told you Bhashyam is a commentary. Then people read the Bhashyam and there are scholars who write commentary on the Bhashyam. Whatever Bhashyakara, according to them, has left unsaid, they add, they say in their commentary. So these that's called tikas, tippanis, these sub-commentaries are very useful in understanding the Bhashyam also. What Bhashyakara means whenever he says something. To understand that, we get all the clues from the sub-commentaries. Of course, we need not go through such a detail because our gurus, our acharyas, and my acharyas have done the homework. We get ready-made stuff. So that commentator, he says, it is not enough, you know the existence is Aksharam Brahma. He says one should know that that existence, Aham Brahma, Aham Asmi, Aparokshataya, Chidrupena, Sakshi Chaitanya Rupena, Yaya Vidyaya Veti, Sa Paravidya. So it is not merely that, okay, you say, I know that this is an object, the isness is Aksharam Brahman. He says you must extend that to Aham Brahmasmi, Tattvamasi. Those Mahavakyas should be fully understood in this way. Aparokshataya, which is not away from me. It is my consciousness, the consciousness because of which I am existing, because of which I am a Sakshi. Once you get that knowledge, that is Paravidya. So in the final analysis, Paravidya is that by which you realize the complete meaning of the Mahavakyas like Aham Brahmasmi and Tattvamasi. Thus Paravidya has been defined. So in this mantra, the Akshara Tattva was defined and important words are, we must note, Vibhum and Bhutayonim. And of these two also, Bhutayonim is more important because Bhutayonim will lead us to Vibhum, and therefore this Bhutayoni aspect, which was described in this mantra as definition of Akshara Tattvam, is going to be elaborated in the next few mantras. So Bhashyakara gives the Sangati to the next mantra, mantra number 7. And we will read the Sangati. It's 1 and 2 sentences. Bhutayonihi
Bhutayonihi
Aksharam iti uktam
Aksharam iti uktam
tat katham bhutayonistam
tat katam bhutayo
योनिः
तत्कथं भूतयो
iti
Iti
uchyate
Uchyate
prasiddha drishtantaihi.
Prasiddha
Prasiddha
Drishtantai.
Okay. So bhuta yonim aksharam iti uktam. Uktam means told. Told where? In the previous mantra. Aksharam, the imperishable Brahma, bhuta yonim iti uktam. Thus it was said. So here what is the subject? Aksharam is the subject. Bhuta yonim is the predicate. And the Sankati is continued. Tat katham bhuta yonitvam iti uchyate prasiddha drishtantaihi. So, excuse me. In the previous mantra, it was said that Aksharam is Bhuta Yoni. Now, tat means that, and that refers to that Bhuta Yonitvam, that status of being the cause of all things and beings, and that is tat Bhuta Yonitvam. Katam, how? So, how is that Aksharam Brahma has got the status of being the cause of all things and beings? Iti uchyate. If this is the question, the answer is given in the next mantra. Uchyate means this is being said. Prasiddha drishtantaihi, through well-known examples. Because the example should be well-known. At least to the listener, it should be well-known, isn't it? Otherwise, what we will need? We will need another example to explain this example. And we will also invite so much debate.
In progress.
Anybody said anything? I think somebody by me unmute. So, examples should be known, well-known examples. Otherwise, you quote one example, somebody will say, no, this example does not fit into this. So much debate will happen. So, example should be something where the listener and the speaker both have got agreement. It should be in a non-controversial area. That is called drishtantaihi. Drishtanta, as I said in the last class, means example. Drishtantaihi is plural. So, a place or places where the ascertainment of the subject matter is seen, that is called drishtantaihi. For example, I want to show someone a pakashala, a kitchen. Olden days, I mean olden days kitchen, not the modern pakashalas. In olden days, they used to have this, what is that called, the cooking place, with fire, with lot of wood and all that. And there will be a chimney for the smoke to go out, out of the kitchen, out of the building itself. So suppose you want to show somebody that kind of a pakashala. Today we can't show because gas stoves and all, there is no smoke comes. At least only, some smoke may come, or smoke or steam may come from some cooking. But that also, some people have got that, what is it called, some, I don't know what is the name, I'm forgetting.
Exhaust chimneys.
Exhaust, yeah.
Chimney.
Yeah. So that they have got, but there you can't see any smoke Olden days kitchen, you will see smoke. So, the traditional kitchen which use wood, coal, etc. as fuel for the fire to cook food, such kitchens could be easily identified by the smoke emanating from the chimney from them. So if you want to find out if cooking is going on, we can have a vyapti. Vyapti means a logic. Yatra dhumah tatra vannihi. So where there is smoke, there is fire. Vannihi, or you can say tatra agnihi also. Easy word. Vanni is also means fire only. So when there is smoke, where there is smoke, there is fire. And this is what I want to show. This is called Vishaya. This is called the subject matter. And suppose I want to show in a place that there is fire. Suppose there is a smoke coming out of a hilltop. But you cannot go to the hilltop and see the fire, isn't it? But then you have to deduce that there should be a fire in the hilltop because you are seeing smoke. So you tell somebody, oh, there is a fire in that hilltop. He'll say, how do you know? You say, yatra dhumah tatra vannihi. Pakashalayam vat. Like in the pakashala, like in the kitchen, when there is smoke, we see smoke, there is fire. Similarly, there is smoke on that hilltop, and there should be fire. So this example is a place where the speaker and the listener, both of them, have seen this particular idea that where there is smoke, there is fire. So where this phenomenon about the subject matter is seen, that place is called Drishtanta. So Pakashala in this case is the Drishtanta example, because the ascertainment of the idea is seen in that place. So Drishtanta is something which is agreed upon by the speaker and listeners. And that Drishtanta, as far as possible, should be Prasiddha Drishtanta. And here, Shruti is not giving one example, but three examples, which are well-known examples. Prasiddha Drishtantaihi. But we must note, by example itself, something is not established. By example, we will be able to understand what has been revealed by the Pramanam. Example only helps us in understanding that. In fact, example will help us to establish the sense of possibility, or it will dismiss the sense of impossibility. Asambhavana nirakaranartam sambhavana buddhi utpatyartam. To dismiss asambhavana buddhi means raising a question. How can it be like this? It cannot be like this. It is impossible. So the sense of impossibility with regard to the subject matter will be dismissed by the Drishtanta, by the example. And by Drishtanta, the example, Sambhavana Buddhi is created, which dismisses, or positively speaking, creates the sense of possibility. So examples help us to drop our resistance to what is being said. Example will help us to assimilate what is being said, to get convinced of what is being said. Therefore, Prasiddha Drishtantaihi. But we must be careful. No example is a perfect example. Every example is useful, no doubt. Every example has something to convey. But no example will be perfect to give all the ideas regarding what Brahman is, what Jagat is. All features which are there in Brahman and Jagat will not be there in every example. Some idea, of course, will be conveyed. Like, even amongst our people known to us, everybody is useful, but nobody is perfect. Somebody will be good at something, others will be good at other things. But everybody has got something to convey, something to contribute, but nobody is perfect. So example is also like that. So in life, our approach should be that whatever best is there in the person, we bring it out, we take that. Rather than pointing out, you are not good at this, you are not good at that. This is very important in the relationship at home, whether it is be with spouse or with the children. We must understand nobody is good at everything. And even in an office environment or even in a group of friends, if we have this attitude, then we can use the best which is there in everybody. We can go together, achieve so much. So similarly, here also, we take something from every example, knowing fully well no example is perfect. I have to tell you this. In fact, my acharyas have told me this because for every example, you can raise a point. Oh, this example does not, Brahman is said to be this, but this example doesn't fit into that. You can always raise a point. And these three examples, which this next mantra is going to give, they are given to show how Brahman can be Karanam. Because as we have seen, Karanam is of two types, Upadana Karanam and Nimitta Karanam. And the Siddhanta of Vedanta is Brahman is not only Nimitta Karanam, the intelligent cause, it is Upadana Karanam, the material cause as well. Because generally we see that Nimitta Karanam and Upadana Karanam are different, isn't it? The intelligent cause is different from the material cause. The pot maker and the clay are different. Carpenter and furniture are different. But here, Brahman is both Upadana Karanam and Nimitta Karanam. And therefore, Brahman is said to be Abhinna Nimitta Upadana Karanam. But since we have never seen anything like that, which is both the intelligent cause and the material cause, our intelligent, rational mind will question how is it possible? How the effects can be non-separate from the cause? So, all the answers to such questions are conveyed, shown with the help of examples in the next mantra. We will first read the mantra. Yatornanabihi.
E.
I hope you have not gone to sleep. I will repeat. Yatornanabihi.
Yatornanabihi.
Purnanabhihi.
Srijate ghrihate cha.
Gurnate cha.
Yata prithvyam osadayah.
Yatha prithvyam oshadayah
Sambhavanti.
sambhavanti
Yatha satah purushat.
yatha satah purushat
Keshalomani.
keshalomani
Tataksharat.
tataksharat
Sambhavatiha Vishwam.
Sambhavatiha Vishwam.
First, I will give you the Padacheda, that is all the words separate, so that when we discuss, you are all, each word stands out rather. Yatha urna nabhihi srijate grinate cha yatha prithvyam oshadayah sambhavanti yatha satah purushat keshalomani tata aksharat sambhavati iha vishwam. So the fourth quarter of the mantras mentions that aksharat vishwam sambhavati. From aksharam brahma, the material cause, the whole universe emerges, originates. And three examples are given to reveal the karya karana sambandha between Brahman and the world. Now, why are these examples important? Because when it is said that from Aksharam Brahma the whole universe emerges, there can be three principal objections to this statement. The first objection would be that Aksharam Brahman is stated to be both the efficient cause and Nimitta Karanam as well as Upadana Karanam, the material cause. So the first objection is, how can there be one and the same entity be both the efficient cause and material cause? Because in our experience, we find that efficient cause is different from material cause. As I gave you the example of pot and clay, carpenter, furniture, etc. They are all different. Intelligent cause is different from material cause. Even if you take gold ornaments, goldsmith is efficient cause, gold is the material cause. Both are different. Similarly, in all cases of creation that we have experienced, the efficient cause is different from the material cause. Even with regard to the building, the mason or architect is intelligent cause. Cement bricks, etc., material cause, again different. Therefore, two causes normally are separate and different. This is the Utsarga. Utsarga means the general rule. Therefore, why only in the case of creation of the universe, you say that both efficient cause and material cause are one and the same entity? Aksharam Brahman. So this is objection number 1. Now, second objection would be that even though from material cause a variety of products are created, the effects, that is the product, are different from the material cause. For example, from a lump of clay, the earthenware like pots, cups, plates, etc. are created. And both in shape and size, they are different from the lump of clay, isn't it? And also, out of a lump of clay, we can create only earthenware, but not ornaments or furniture. So for creation of different products, the material causes are different. And therefore, the objection would be, how come out of one Akshara Brahman, one material cause, so many varieties of products or effects are created? That is not possible. The second objection. Third objection would be that all along it is said that Akshara Brahman is consciousness, Chetana Tattvam, a sentient entity. And then you also say the universe is insentient, Jadam, Achetanam. Then how can an insentient entity be a product of a sentient entity? A sentient entity can be cause for another sentient entity only. Because this objection, the third objection, assumes importance because the Sankhya and Nayayika philosophers say Karyam and Karanam should be Salakshanam. Salakshanam means of similar nature. So Karyam and Karanam must be Salakshanam. Like human parents can give birth only to a human child and not to a monkey or pieces of wood or rock, etc. A mango tree produces mango and not banana. Therefore, generally we see the cause and effect have got salakshanya niyama. So they say the world is inert. Therefore, the cause also must be inert matter only. From inert matter only, the inert creation can come. And even modern science also tells the world must have come out of matter or energy, both of which are inert in nature. So from inert to inert. Therefore, they are called Achetana Karanavadis. And this is the view of all others also. Sankhya, Yoga, Nyaya, Vaisheshika, all philosophers, they don't agree with us on this. But we Vedantins alone are the odd ones who say Chetanam Brahma is the Karanam for Achetana world. So here we are called Chetana Karanavadis. But this view militates against Salakshanya Niyama. In fact, all these topics are elaborately discussed in Brahma Sutra, both by Vyasacharya as also Adi Shankaracharya in his Brahma Sutra Bhashya. Anyhow, therefore, the third objection is to say that from a sentient entity, an insentient entity is born is not acceptable. So, three examples are given to show Aksharat Sambhavati iti Vishwam, Iha Vishwam. That is the Drashtanta, the main subject matter. We must understand these two terms very carefully. I think explained in the Satsanga in the last class or previous class, I don't remember. One of the students asked this question. Drashtantaha means the main subject matter, the principle that is required to be established. And Drishtantaha means the example with the help of which the main subject matter is understood or the principle is established. So these two words, these two terminologies you must keep in mind. Drishtanta and Drashtanta. So Vishwam, the entire universe. Sambhavati is born. Aksharat, from the imperishable Brahman. Iha. Iha can refer to the beginning of creation, that is Srishtikale, or here can also mean, in this word, Samsara Mandale, in the cycle of creation. The cycle of creation, sustenance, and destruction. In that Vishwam, the entire universe is Aksharat Sambhavati. This is the main subject matter, the Drashtanta. This has to be established now. And to establish that, three examples, three Drishtantaihi are given. The first example is what? Yata Urna Nabihi. Urna Nabihi means spider. Why is spider called Urna Nabihi? Actually, the word Urna means wool. In Hindi also, those who know Hindi, that is that a woolen thread is called oon. That word oon in Hindi has come from Urna only, which means wool or woolen thread. Nabihi means the navel. So the one which has got Urna, that particular thread in whose navel is called Urna Nabihi. So this spider is supposed to have that thread in its navel. We do not know whether it is navel or some part of the body. No. We have not done any dissection of the spider. But generally, if you observe a spider weaving its web, it appears that the thread is coming out of its navel. Many times when you see the spider spinning a web on the corner of the seedling, it will first draw the thread. It will go down. There you can see that the thread is emanating from the center part of the spider. Spider will be horizontal to the floor, and the thread will be coming from the center spot. So that is why generally we say that it is coming from its navel. Nabihi. So it takes out that material from the Nabihi for spinning a web. And therefore it is called Urna Nabihi. So just as Yatha Urna Nabihi, just as the spider, Srijate means creates. Bhashyakara will say Prasarayati, spreads out. Spreads what? That is not stated in the mantra. But we have to supply Tantu. Tantu means the cobweb, the web of the spider. Just as the spider spreads out the cobweb, Grinnatecha, and also withdraws. It spreads out means creates and it withdraws. Just as the spider creates the web and withdraws it back, similarly, Akshara Tattvam is creating this world and resolves it back into itself. So here both the things are suggested, creation and dissolution, both are suggested. So Srishti Karanam and Laya Karanam. So far as the spider's web is concerned, Urna Nabhi, the spider, is one entity. And this example is given to show the sense of possibility. To create the sense of possibility that one and the same factor, the one and the same entity can become both Upadana and Nimitta Karana. But generally we say Nimitta Karanam, an efficient cause, requires to get material from outside. Whereas Urna Nabhi, the spider, doesn't require material from outside, like a pot maker or a goldsmith, etc. A pot maker doesn't create the clay from his own body, he gets it from outside, isn't it? But here the spider is not depending upon any other material for creating the web. And therefore, just as a spider is both the efficient cause and material cause for creation of the cobweb, similarly, Brahman, which is Jagat Karanam, which is the cause, which is the creator, is also both Nimitta Karanam and Upadana Karanam. Brahman does not depend upon any material from outside for creating this world. And as Pujya Swamiji used to say, there is no outside for Brahman. For a pot maker, there is something outside from which he can collect material. For Brahman, there is no outside. Because outside implies space. The side means space. And space itself is a part of creation. And we are talking about this creation which is going to come from Brahman. And therefore, Brahman doesn't have anything outside from which it can get material. So the only possibility is what Brahman has. That is, Brahman itself is the material. Brahman itself is the maker, the creator. So, Brahman is the maker and the material both. Just like the example of the spider. More we will see in the next class. Okay. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnamevavasishyate. Om Shanti
Shanti,
Shanti
Shanti,
Shanti.
Shanti.
Hari
Hari
Om
Om Shri Guru Bhyo Namaha.
Hari
Hari
Om.
Om. Thank you very much,
All
Guruji.
very much.
Namaskaram.
ಧನ್ಯವಾದः
Hari
ಮಹೋದಯ.
Om. Thank you. Thank you.
Namaskaram. Thank you. Thank you, Guruji.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
Guruji. Hari Om.
Hari Om. Hari Om.
Hari Om Guruji.
Hari Om. Yes,
Thank you.
Kanji.
Namaste. Hari Om.
Hari Om. Hari Om.
Guruji, just clarification on Sanskrit. Sorry, pardon my ignorance on that. Is it one is Drishtanta, the other one is Drashtanta or Darshtanta? Which one is the right one?
Drashtanta is the principle to be established.
Okay.
Drishtanta is the example to establish that principle. So both words are there. Drishtanta is there, Drashtanta is there.
Okay. No, I'm talking about the word, Guruji. Is it Drashtanta or Darshtanta?
Drashtanta.
Drashtanta. Okay, Guruji. Thanks a lot.
Any other question? Astivanava. No hands are going up.
Thank you.
So I guess I can close the session. Okay, Hari Om. Thank you all very
Hari
much.
Om, Guruji.
Thank you, Guruji.
Thank you, Guruji. Hari Om.
Hari Om.